This episode of the View from the Rock podcast is brought to you by Sign Dog Northwest. They're your source for custom signs, banners, boat names, fleet graphics, and more. Custom design services available. This episode is also brought to you by Merle Inc. They're the premier custom home builder in the Cle Elum area and a proud featured home builder in Suncadia Resort and Tumble Creek. Welcome back to the View from the Rock podcast. We're here in the Yellow Dog Studios, and wow, we're cracking some beers already. I'm your host, Ruck. I'm here with Swap and Morgie. Swap, how are we doing?
Doing great. Here we are, first Sunday in February. It's sunny outside, mid-50s. You know, if this was October, they'd call this Indian summer. I don't know if you can say that anymore, but I don't know what they call it here in February.
A lot of golfers out today.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Coming
it was
back
full.
from Burlington, a little basketball game against the Rain. PNW Rain.
Ooh.
They're not as good anymore as they were.
No, they've got about 20 teams.
I know. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know what the PNW Rain is.
Just a local Skagit Valley basketball club.
So is this similar to what they have now going on with pickleball?
No.
Is this
It's just
for
like
old people?
everywhere in a bigger city has a basketball club. It's like AAU. So you pay to be on a team, kind of like a select almost. So they draw from every town.
This
in
is
the
all
valley.
ages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, starting in fourth grade.
But does it go up to like 36?
No, it goes up until high school.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
youth, and there's a bunch of teams. Yeah, they're out there getting kids from all over the
There's all kinds of names.
Yeah.
You can find the Blaze or the Thunder.
a lot of teams that their name does not end in an S.
Yes.
Right
All
on.
of the Yakima teams or the Tri-Cities are always like the Blaze or
Because it's so hot over there.
the Lightning.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, hey, today on our episode, we're going to be previewing Super Bowl, talking about local sports, all that normal stuff in the beginning. We've got a minute with Morgie's Midgets, featuring the Big Little Brawlers. Our musical genre today is focused on the Super Bowl as well, with the best halftime shows. And our beer of the week is from Fremont Brewing. Finally, we're going to talk about top 3 worst sports announcers.
Good episode.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, real quick, Merle Inc. won Best Builder in on the East Side. He just had
yeah.
a big
Wow.
thing.
So we're in rarefied air here with him as
Yeah.
one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also has tremendous swag.
We're big time.
Yeah, we are. So high school basketball, how's that looking for us, Morgie?
Well, we start districts this week. We host Seahome.
Oh, baby.
And we just broke the school record again for points scored yesterday.
Yeah, 101.
101
101, breaking a record that's about 3 weeks old.
against Seahome.
Yeah.
So maybe
100
we're going to
against
try and go
Seahome.
for 102 to Wednesday night. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't either, but it's a good draw.
Yeah.
101 was against Ferndale. Is that
Seahome.
correct?
Oh, yeah, 101 Ferndale.
Okay.
We are the 3 seed. So Linden is the 1, Cedar Crest 2. We are the 3.
And then only
Lakewood
2
4.
go on. 2 teams go on, which is unfortunate because there's 3 really good teams.
So we have 3 of the top 6 teams in the state in our district, and 2 teams move on
So we're the underdog.
currently right now. But we are playing at a high level.
yeah,
Would you agree, Swap?
we're playing really well right now. Knock on wood, even though that's plastic. We're knocking on wood, but we're playing really well. I think Seahome's a good draw. Then it looks like if everything goes to form, we'll have Cedar Crest Friday.
And then Linden, Lakewood. And then the following midweek, if we win, would be the district title.
Yeah, and then the way with the 2 teams moving on now changes that a little bit. If you lose the district title, you got to turn around and win a game.
Yep.
And at what point do we move away from the team's home site to a common venue like Mount Vernon High School?
Second game.
So against Cedar Crest.
Yeah. So the top seeds, 4 seeds, host the first game.
Okay.
And then after that, it goes to Mount Vernon High.
So only 8 teams make the district tournament.
There's a play-in game for 4 teams, and then 2 of those teams are the 7-8 seed.
So everyone makes it, basically, kind of.
Well, for 2A, 3A, I don't think so.
No, and 2A is weird because 2 of the teams are in a 3A league. So then we have a district RPI to take that into account, and things get a little weird there. But
We just need to get out of districts.
yeah. Yeah, I think us and Cedar Crest and Linden are all thinking we're good enough to make a run. But it's just a matter of getting out of districts.
Yep.
And I don't know if you want me to go this far ahead because maybe it's jinxing it or something like that. So tell me to stop if you want. But at what point have we won enough games to where we're going to state regardless if we lose?
If we make it out of districts, we will be going to Yakima.
And so to do that, we need to win our first game, beat Cedar Crest, and then do we also need to beat
We need to win one of the next 2 after that.
one of the next 2?
If we win our first 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually, most years, every year up until this year that I can remember, it would be if we win the second game, then we're moving on.
We're in no matter what.
Yeah.
And if we lose the second one, then does that mean we have to win 2 straight?
Might even be 3.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay. So important to win those first 2, sounds like.
Yes.
Anything else going on in sports right now? Looked like maybe wrestling
Oh, wrestling
won
district,
the district
champs.
champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had Talon Kerr, Rylan Lang, Max.
Sweating them?
Yeah, Swettenham were district champs. Mackay Oakley took second, and a bunch of kids took 3 and 4, 5.
Do you have any idea when the last time we won districts for
I
wrestling?
think it's over 20 years,
Allegedly over 20 years. That's what I saw too.
which is awesome. That's great.
Yeah, those guys get after it. We've got a good group of wrestlers right now.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
we have a Super Bowl coming up.
We do. Hold up. So didn't they have state bowling this week? Or something
And
like that?
state robotics.
Do we know how those turned out?
We do not. I do not know. I'm not in the robotics field.
Okay. Well, we need to find out at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe
state
report
bowling.
next time.
I can find out. One of my students' moms is the coach
Okay.
I'll be darned.
at the middle school
For bowling.
for bowling.
Okay. And then somehow I have to find out about
Maybe we can
robotics.
ask our kids about robotics, and they would know the answer.
Like our kids at school.
Like our own
our
personal
own.
kids who go to the high school.
That's possible.
That's highly doubtful.
2 other things to check on too. So there's boys wrestling. What about girls wrestling? Do they have a district tournament, same setup kind of thing?
I think same format. I do not know how they did.
Yeah.
And that's no slight on anybody. I was just very preoccupied yesterday with multiple basketball games.
And then what else do we got? We got
Well, you got spring sports are starting in 3 weeks.
yeah. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, me either.
Wow, we got
We
2
got
coaches
girls
here.
basketball. Girls basketball.
Girls basketball is playing. They are 6 or 7.
They're 6, so they avoided the play-in game. They're going to play Burlington, which is a tough draw. The
Yeah.
girls setup is same thing.
awful.
3 really good teams: Burlington, Archbishop, and Linden, and only 2 are going to get to go.
I think Burlington might be out this year.
I don't think they're as good as Archbishop and Linden, but you never know.
Wow.
I think Linden's going to win it all in girls.
I think it's maybe we can make a bet. I'm going to take Ellensburg. You can take Linden.
I love betting on high school sports. It's
How did sports betting go this weekend?
Well, I won one bet, and I did a parlay with just the money line of 5 NBA games, and 4 of the 5 won, and the one other team that was supposed to win lost by 1.
Oh,
So I didn't win that bet, but I actually won $40 on my other parlay,
uh-huh.
and so I am currently with even the Super Bowl bets down $10.
Okay.
So
I lost all my bets.
yes,
Yeah.
Hey, we need to make this a normal part of our show where we find out we find out what your bets were, and hopefully you tell us like maybe one bet for this next week that you think is can't miss.
Well, what have you got on the Super Bowl right now?
I'm on the Chiefs bandwagon. They're 2-point dogs.
Yeah.
So I just think that you just can't bet against Mahomes.
I 100% agree. I don't think you can bet against Mahomes.
Or
And then I like the over. So I like the total points above what Vegas has.
Do you know what that
remember?
is right now?
I think it's 47, somewhere around there.
Ruck's going to fact check that for us. But tell you what, you can get on that kiosk out there at the Swinomish Casino and
Have some fun.
lose a lot of time.
So we had a little bet. My parlay on Friday was Draymond Green to score over 8 points, right?
Yeah.
Golden State to win and the over.
And it didn't hit the over, right?
It did.
It did hit the
Yeah,
over.
everything worked.
47 and a half.
Okay. So
That-
47 and a half.
Yeah, it's 11 hours ago. That can
So
move
that's
pretty
like a 23-24 game.
quick. What?
That would be the score.
23, 24. Oh, gotcha.
So like
okay.
somewhere right around there. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking the over.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like
Hey, also any fan or anyone that listens, if you have a bet that you would like us to look at, we would definitely consider it.
Remember back in the day, you needed a bookie?
Yes.
I don't know if I've admitted this to you two off of the podcast. So this might be first time on the podcast. I don't think I've ever made a bet before.
Oh, wow. Really?
Of course. You could be 18 now to go do that.
You could also just be 36 for your first time too.
So maybe this week,
We're going to go make a bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's you don't even have to talk to a person.
No.
Hey, you're scratching me right where I itch, not having to talk to people.
You just
That's
go
my
right.
favorite.
No, you go right up to the
You go
machine.
up to the screen and it has everything. Soccer, it has rugby.
Australian rules football.
Footy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. And then is that close to where the actual what's it called? The sports book is, as far as like you can sit down and watch a bunch of big TVs, right?
You can sit in a recliner.
Out there.
Yeah.
Wow. I might start spending some more time out there.
And we've last couple times we've gone out, it's been just in and out, 20 minutes. Just
Yep.
yeah.
That doesn't sound relaxing.
Well, once you sit down there, you're kind of entering a whole new world.
Do they really force the drinks upon you when you're in a seat there?
No, but they come around.
Yeah, and that's kind of like forcing.
Do they have any non-alcoholic options there?
I think they do. I was out there for an event last night. I had some non-alcoholic Becks.
How's that?
It's not bad. It's like we've talked about. You're sitting there and you want a beer. It's a beer. It's just a non-alcoholic beer.
There's a funny thing about, when you're having a non-alcoholic beer and, within the next 10 minutes, you're expecting to like feel something based upon that you're drinking this, even though that's not going to happen. And then like 30 minutes would go by and I feel like I kind of look back and I'm like, oh yeah, nothing happened. Like I have a weird feeling about it, but I'm enjoying it. We got some new ones here on the counter around us and one I'm excited for today.
Little shout out to Rocky Burns and the family. They came in town. Rooster retired.
Yeah, and the Burns family is in Virginia.
Believe that is correct.
And how long have they been gone? 4 years?
Time is a little mysterious to me, especially in the post-COVID era.
Because they were involved in swimming too, and Brennan was in swim then.
I think they left right before COVID. So that'd be what now, 4 or 5 years?
And then the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and he's a huge Eagle fan.
yeah, not a lot of Eagles fans around here.
So I remember seeing him celebrate on social media.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Rocky, because right now the Eagles suck.
They're a mess.
Oh,
Didn't they hire one of our? They hired Clint McDonald.
I don't know. Weren't they 10-1?
Did you see the?
Or sorry, Clint Hurt is what I meant,
Oh.
not Clint McDonald.
Did you see the Pro Bowl skills quarterback challenge?
I did a little bit.
And Jalen
happened?
Hurts was
Dude, he was terrible.
he was awful.
really?
That was
that's
on
bad.
Thursday, by the way. They did a repeat this morning.
Okay, so Dan Orlovsky, the ESPN's one of their football experts, went out with a tie on and got a better score than Jalen Hurts.
Oof.
And he's been retired for 10 years.
Yeah,
And sucked when he played. He was
He's
a
the
bad
guy that stepped out of bounds out of the back of the end zone one time.
Safety.
really?
Yeah,
Yep.
playing for Detroit.
Oh man,
When someone, because that happened recently.
Yeah.
They just say
call
it's
it the
pulling
Orlovsky.
pulling an Orlovsky.
Speaking of Detroit, we went from like the greatest game in the world because the Niners were going to lose to the biggest collapse I've ever seen.
I know. That was hard. I just think, maybe Campbell's, his mantra is always go for it, but there's maybe a couple times you kick the field goal. I don't know.
I don't either.
I mean, it's not guaranteed that you kick a 47-yard field goal and you make it. We just saw that recently. So that's easy to say, take the points. Those aren't guaranteed either. That's why the math says that you should go for it in those situations, but they were pretty painful. So we have our new segment. Is that correct, Jason?
Yeah, that's correct. So we found out last week that the listeners like a little person wrestling, and there is a show on Discovery called Big Little Brawlers. So we came up with Morgie's Midget Minute. So it might be about 2 minutes, but this is sponsored by whatever company Ross owns.
Correct.
We don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing.
So that might be the worst sponsor pitch we've ever given here on the podcast.
But thank you, Ross, for supporting us.
And your company.
Yeah.
You know what? I could probably tell you. Like when I look here, there's a bunch of names there. I don't know.
So basically, it's like an 8-episode series of little people wrestling, and they're working towards their version of WrestleMania. And it's a small town in Tennessee that Dolly Parton made famous. So
of course, it's a small town.
So some of these people, the names you're going to love. I said Psycho, Pink Chocolate. There's Hot Rod, who's the up-and-comer, and he gets hurt last episode.
Uh-oh.
Couldn't feel his legs.
What happened to him?
He went off the top rope, out of the ring, landed on the Lil Show, the Redneck Brawler.
The Lil Show.
Yes. Who's the Redneck Brawler?
It's got like 2 names. Lil Show and
yes.
the Redneck Brawler.
And he actually got a concussion. So he's getting back in the ring. They have Jay Amazing. And the new character that has to lose 100 pounds to make it to WrestleMania is Andrew the Giant.
Oh, wow.
And he is 4'7", 330 pounds.
Yeah, as you started to say that, I looked at that down there on the description. It makes me feel pretty good about myself.
And it is the Micro Wrestling Federation.
The
And
MWF.
the guy that is like the Mean Gene,
Yeah.
his name is Iva the Micro.
And he is also
He's a little person.
okay.
And he drives like a little mini Jeep that Rowan and Brennan used to drive around.
So like the little battery charge.
He drives it around the arena with a microphone.
So during these
Oh my
episodes,
God.
is it like a behind-the-scenes look at the wrestling, or is it the wrestling?
It's everything. And it's also their relationship with their families. So most of these men have wives or girlfriends that are regular sized people.
Oh,
So there's that. Psycho is with Pink Chocolate. So there's drama right now because Psycho just left to go on the other wrestling. There's like a travel wrestling.
So
in this
there's
group.
like a rival circuit.
Yes, so
Okay.
he's going on this night or what is Nitro circuit or something for 2 months. So Sign Dog actually has a sweatshirt of one of these guys
course he
because
does.
his buddy they came to Walla Walla.
so if this show, Big Little Brawlers, didn't exist, they would still be doing this wrestling?
Yes.
Okay.
So now, but I guess like some of these guys, social media is crazy.
What is the sweatshirt that Sign Dog has?
I think it's the Lil Show.
Okay.
But so like Andrew the Giant and like Psycho, they have like up to 1 million followers on some of the platforms, TikTok and Instagram.
I'll be damned.
So that's how they make some of their money.
That's wild.
But Iva, it reminds me of Iva the Boneless.
You're saying Iva? Do you mean Ivor?
I'm saying Iva because that's from Vikings. Did you ever watch Vikings?
I think I watched the first season.
So it's his name is Iva, but it is Ivor.
Okay.
I
So
just
what
like
do they
saying
call
Iva.
What do they call him when he's being introduced?
Ivor the Micro, but he's the ring announcer.
Oh, okay. He's like the Mean Gene.
But he wants to get in, so he starts practicing, and then he gets hurt because he's got brittle bone disease. So he can just break his bones, like by just falling over.
Wow.
So there's the minute. 2 minutes of there's 2 episodes left. So I'll give you the finale.
Where can you watch this?
Discovery Tuesday nights. Right before after bootlegging?
I'll be damned.
Like
Or
the
distilleries.
Yeah. And then I saw it was on Max, HBO.
Yeah.
Is that same night?
Same.
Or is it
I
after?
think so.
Okay.
Oh, it's on Max?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And there's 8 episodes, so they've gone through 4 or 5.
So you can watch Max now on the Peloton.
So you can watch Big Little Brawlers.
Correct. Or The Sopranos.
And every time you see the Little Show, when they how they go to like just a talk, they're talking.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the back of a side by side. So like he rides 4-wheelers and
I don't know if I know what a side by side is.
it is a off-road vehicle that has 2 to 4 seats, and you take it in the
like-
back country.
One of those Can-Ams?
Yeah, kind of like a Can-Am.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
Got it.
But it's not on the road. It's more for like in the hills and like in the back country. And
So he rides around on that?
yes. So his wife comes to visit him and his kids, and he takes them 4-wheeling.
I've got to watch this.
Yeah.
I can just imagine
So
him
basically,
flying up
he
and
is
down.
sitting on the lap of his wife, and she's driving him.
Is she's a regular sized
Yes.
person?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's like doing the pedal?
Well, it's just a thumb.
Oh, okay.
Some of them. Yeah. All right.
This is excellent. I can't wait to find something else because this little segment, Morky's Midget Minute, who's brought to you by whatever the heck Ross's company is named, really makes it for me. This is my favorite part of the show. Next up, we've got our best Super Bowl halftime shows. When you guys were looking up, researching, did you have something you wanted to say?
No.
Were there any that stood out for you guys?
The Blues Brothers.
Now, when you say the Blues Brothers, you mean like the Blues Brothers? Like
Well-
Dan Aykroyd and...
Belushi is no longer alive. So it was
Jim?
Jim and it was John Goodman.
When?
1997.
John
What?
Yeah.
John Goodman, though, he's not one of the Blues Brothers.
No, but I think he can
Sing.
pull it off.
What year did you say that was?
What is that noise?
There's some construction going on.
So
here in the Yellow Dog
last
studio.
night, Kaysen was over and hit his head on one of Rowan's shelves and knocked it over.
Oh, so was that some shelf repair that we just
I
heard?
think so.
Oh, sorry. What year was that you were saying?
97?
Because I feel like I remember that.
I think I remember it.
Blues Brothers, it's an underrated movie for me. I love that movie.
I'm surprised you've seen it.
I'm surprised I've seen it too, if I'm being honest. Have you seen Blues Brothers?
25 times.
I thought you were about to say no.
I was trying to think how many I counted.
That's a good movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Some great
That's you know who's in that movie is Princess Leia.
yeah, I was
Carrie Fisher, you mean?
yeah, and Aretha.
She's the crazy
yeah.
like ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
every now and then randomly shows up and has a weapon that she's going to kill
Yes.
John Belushi with.
Didn't she have a flamethrower?
I think she had a flamethrower.
She had an RPG at one point. That's in the very first time. She blows up the Wayward house.
That's a great movie.
Aretha Franklin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Charles. You know who else I think is in that? And you might want to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure Carl Weathers is in that.
Oh, rest in peace,
Oh.
brother.
Yeah.
Really?
I think he is. I think he's in the band.
So
You know, when they drive around and get all the guys that were in the band?
Yeah.
I think Carl Weathers is one of those guys.
Wow.
we're gonna have to fact check that.
I think he
'Cause
is.
I just saw it recently over Christmas break, and I don't remember him being it.
I'm
But
going to fact check that.
I'm trying to think of best Super Bowl halftime shows when I was younger, and I can't remember because basically I spent until I was about 15. Most of the game or halftime was playing video games with all the other kids, or we were
Yeah.
outside playing hoops,
I mean,
dunk hoops, or throwing the football.
I still, even to this day, I kind of just think of the halftime show as a break.
Well, now they're trying to get everyone involved. You know, they had Bruno Mars, Shakira.
Yeah, was it?
They're
Shakira?
trying to get, I think, more of the female audience involved.
female or younger.
So Usher is this time. I mean, I don't know. I can name like 3 or 4 Usher songs, but that's about it.
I mean,
I don't want to sit there and listen to him say, "This is my obsession."
so if you look back at the most recent shows, they're definitely trying to cater to a younger audience. It's more popular music. So the last like 5 shows, we've got Usher, Rihanna, and then we had that one year that was kind of cool. It was like because it was in LA, it was all of the like
The
LA
rappers.
rap.
Oh, that was
So
great. I loved it. Just
Dre,
to build up for
Snoop,
that.
Eminem,
Mary J. Blige.
Yep, you got it.
That was great. I mean, when they promoted that, that was awesome.
Now, the year before, do you remember the show that The
Weeknd?
Weeknd? It was like he was trying to do some crazy thing, and he was wearing some of the cameras at one point. It was the weirdest show ever, and he looked like he just had plastic surgery. Like his face was exploding. It was just so puffy.
Okay, Carl Weathers is not in Blues Brothers, but I want you to look at the picture of Mac Guitar Murphy and tell me this is not Carl Weathers.
What? Okay, that looks like
Let me
him.
see. Wow.
We should, before we go any further and forget to mention it, who Carl Weathers is. So Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies. He was also in Predator. He was also in Happy Gilmore. What else?
Chubb. His name was Chubb.
Right, yeah. He was actually also in The Mandalorian recently.
Yeah.
Action Jackson.
What is that?
That's a early 90s, late 80s movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Action Jackson.
What else am I missing?
Well, they do the famous line in Predator when he's sitting in the back and then Schwarzenegger comes up and they high five. And then it just shows how big their arms are. Like, that's a meme now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, you know, the spinoff was his son is in the Creed movies.
Yeah.
Not his actual son.
No, but just from the
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Which is Michael B. Jackson. Or
Jordan. Michael
yeah.
B. Jordan. Yeah, and that was, what was he, 76?
Somewhere right around there.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was sick or
I didn't hear anything.
said he died in his sleep. But he was awesome. Because he went from bad guy to good guy, and then, you know, Drago killed him.
And I think he played a little pro football.
He did for
before.
the Raiders 2
Yeah.
years.
Yep, and played, gosh, where did he play in college? He was a linebacker. I want to say it was like Miami or somewhere in Florida.
I want to say San Diego State.
Could be.
Oh, we could fact check.
Yeah. How about back in the day? I didn't even realize the Who
Yeah.
performed.
Like how recently was that?
I don't know. Michael Jackson, Madonna, U2.
Oh, The Who was 2010, not that long ago.
Oh, yeah. Because you know why? They were big because of CSI.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the song from CSI was The Who?
That's right.
Springsteen,
Springsteen.
Prince.
Yeah.
So why, we've talked about this before. I mean, way back. Why can't we just have like Pearl Jam?
Why can't we have like music that we like?
Well, so the funny thing is, I remember when we were looking stuff up, we saw that Paul McCartney had been on at one point, and that was, I believe, the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl that was taken away from them by the refs
Steelers?
against the Steelers. And at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Like he did, I thought, a really great job, and I was probably 21 or 22, so I wasn't old looking for a toe tapper necessarily. But I remember at the time, people were starting to complain that they were just doing these halftime performances for all the old whites out there, all the old white guys.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I feel like, other than maybe The Who, well, gosh. Okay, so hey, if you look at that string of shows, it kind of makes sense. They had Paul McCartney. Next year, they had the Rolling Stones. The next year, they had Prince. Then they had Tom Petty. Then they had Bruce Springsteen. And then they had The Who. And then after that, it takes a radically different direction. Like Black Eyed Peas, Madonna, Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Katy Perry. I feel like someone heard the complaints.
Well, what else? What are they? How many more can we go through?
Like far back?
No, just in terms of what's next. I mean, you want people to watch. I think people are going to watch no matter what.
I just wish they had. I want a toe tapper.
Yeah. How about, man, I don't know. Yeah. I know that every band that I love will never be on the Super Bowl halftime show.
I mean, I don't know why they couldn't do some sort of a mix. When you think about how at one point we had Aerosmith and Run DMC did a song together.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl should be planned out far ahead of time. You combine some genres together and they reveal some sort of new mashed up song. That would be a great time.
Fact check me on this, but I think, for example, Black Eyed Peas, I think Slash was also involved in that halftime performance.
Ooh, yeah, I'll look.
Like Guns N' Roses would be awesome.
I mean, they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I think about new like bands now. There's not too many bands that are rock bands that people would like.
Well, like who are some of the they do the tours now where they're in all the baseball stadiums in the summer. So like
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people would.
I mean,
I would.
You know, I don't like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but hey, so Slash
That's
was
like literally.
Slash was with Black Eyed Peas for that Super Bowl performance.
So, and they're probably trying to appeal to multiple demographics. Yada,
And
yada,
yeah,
yada.
in case
But
you don't know who Slash is, he was the guitarist for Guns N' Roses.
His mom was a teacher.
Really
Yes.
I'll be damned.
great person.
There's one that we have to talk about because it totally changed radio and TV and everything.
Maybe the best halftime performance ever.
It's definitely a titillating halftime performance.
Man, was it cold out or
Are you
was it
referring
indoor?
to Nipplegate?
Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, the crazy part is that he eventually came back and did another halftime show a different year.
He's very talented.
He just did Saturday Night Live last week. He's got a new album, new song.
Really?
Yeah, he was good.
He's talented. Hey, you know who would be great at halftime? Jack Black.
Oh, Tenacious D.
Yeah.
See, we would like that, and I think there'd be a lot of people who'd be like,
there's
"That
10
is
million
freaking
people
weird."
that would like that.
You know what?
This is the best and greatest song in the world.
I think
Tribute.
I think that Jack Black might be I wouldn't say the worst possible idea, but I don't even think there's a lot of old white guys who like Jack
How about
Black.
the White Buffalo?
Oh, he'd be amazing.
You know what I did the other day for the first time?
What's that?
I listened to Whistler. That's a great song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
So he's coming to Bend June 8th.
Is that a Saturday?
It's a Saturday. Bend's hard to get to.
I've never
Not
been.
really.
Well, it's hard to get to when you work, like in a weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, same as going to like Spokane, right?
Yeah,
it's
farther.
but 3 hours
It's
farther.
farther than Spokane.
Oh, it's Central Oregon.
No, I know, but like time wise,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like 4 hours to Portland, and then you jog
You would go
couple
a different
over, right?
route. You'd go
Through Yakima, right?
Yeah, and down, and then right up Mount Hood and over. So Hood River, go up. I mean, it's probably 7 hours, 6 hours from here.
You know what? That was the first time I realized that Mount Hood and Hood River. That's the reason I just made that connection.
it's about
Yeah.
an hour away, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great spot, but Bend is hard to get to.
It's like one of the greatest windsurfing locations in the world, right?
Yeah.
Hood River.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something that when I was looking up about Super Bowl halftime shows, I had no idea. Originally, the Super Bowl halftime shows were marching bands from universities. Like the very first Super Bowl says was the University of Arizona Symphonic Marching Band, Grambling State, Anaheim High School. Next one was Grambling State.
So
then
did they
Florida
take
A&M.
like a local?
For some of them, it kind of looks that way, but there's maybe some years where they didn't have that. I mean, it also for a while was in Miami to start with, and then it was in Miami a lot and New Orleans a lot. So yeah, I still when I look at shows that are more recent, there's definitely still some marching bands in there. So they've tried to hold on to that a little bit, but I don't know if that's as popular of a choice. I mean, I would find a marching band to be pretty toe tap worthy. I think it would be a good choice. If
I
they
think a
In
always had that element.
1980.
Better than Rhiannon. Rihanna?
Yes. I don't know. We should just make a bet on, okay, this year's Usher, like next year. It's not going to be a rock band.
Do you think?
I think next year will be Taylor Swift.
I was gonna just ask. Do you think if Taylor Swift wasn't, in the football eye right now, if she'd be a candidate?
I heard that she was.
This
said
has to
no.
be like 6-7 months before. She was deep in her tour, I think is why she
Right.
said no.
So all of a sudden now she's divisive.
She's still in her tour. She's going to be in a show in Japan
know.
and have to hot foot it over here.
Well, they said it's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
She has her own private plane, so
Why are people mad at her?
I don't know. People get mad at success.
Yeah, they do.
They're jealous. Like when you win, people are pissed at you. We're winners.
So I know that some people are not happy. Well, unlike Seaham.
Yeah.
People are unhappy that they will cut screen to her a lot during
But it's
the
like
game.
26 seconds.
Right. Like I understand why they're like, why are we constantly showing her? But
Hey,
at the same time, we've never had someone who's, that I can recall, as big of a star dating one of the biggest stars in football. And when we say as big a star as her, it's like she's the biggest star in the world right now.
I'd rather look at her than Jerry Jones.
That shriveled raisin.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's why they're showing her.
I know.
And honestly, I mean,
And I want to see
she's got
Travis
great reactions.
Kelce's brother
Yeah.
chugging beers,
right?
climbing out of there, hugging babies, taking photos.
We
But,
should
I mean-
try to get him on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, we should.
Yeah, I
Because they're
think-
number one podcast in the world right now.
I think we'd get along with him really well.
They would make us, like, after being on there or them being on here, we would have made it at that
Well,
point.
you know what? I'm going to try and make that happen. I'm going to reach out via X.
Yeah, between like your mutual acquaintances.
Hey, I'm just going to DM him.
Let's
what
see.
happens.
He might do it.
Yeah. He's
I
just
mean-
a normal guy that just happens to be the best center ever.
Yeah.
You think he's going to retire?
Yeah, he's done.
It sounded like he was going to retire. He was ready to. And when Schefter announced it for him, he was like, well, now I don't know if I want to retire. Like these guys, I don't understand why they are insistent on breaking news about retirement. If they're going to
They just
retire.
get tired of Schefter
Just let them retire. Let them say it.
I hate
Don't do that.
Schefter.
I don't like him anymore.
because
either.
of what happened.
What?
All this stuff. There was some controversy like a year ago.
Well, he broke something that he wasn't supposed to break.
Yeah, and then talking about like how they have specific things that they tell people to say. It was a big thing, and a lot of people were turned off.
Well,
And he was a Michigan grad.
there was also something about him breaking a story and someone's lives had been lost or something like that. And the way that he broke it was like pretty insensitive. I think there's something recently.
Do you
about
remember when he was trying to catch footballs off a like a jugs machine? They have like machines that throw
Yeah.
footballs. Do you remember that? Do you guys remember that?
that. Yeah.
And like it was Keyshawn Johnson and somebody else.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, and they're just like one-handing it like Velcro, and it looked like it was going to kill Schefter.
How tall is he?
He's a little man. He's not a little person, but he is 5'9", 5'8".
man.
He looks kind of fit though. Like I think he'd be able to handle a football better than he did.
Yeah, I think he's supremely unathletic. I think that someone who ends up in that area where you're the insider, you knew from about 5 years old that you weren't going to make it in the sports world, so you hung around with all the sports guys and tried to find everything out.
That reminds me of my number one worst sports announcer.
Oh, we already know. I already know who that is, and I haven't even looked at your list.
And I'm sure it's the same as mine. Well,
It is not.
Oh, all right. Do we have any more that we'd like to talk about as far as the best Super Bowl halftime shows or what we have coming up? So it's Usher, and I don't really care. I'm probably not going to watch the Super Bowl halftime show.
What's one of the songs that he sings with Little John?
Is Little John a little person?
Yeah. No. He's just Lil. Lil baby.
Oh my gosh.
Lil John.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I think we're ready for our break, and then we'll be back with our beer of the week from Fremont Brewing, followed by our top 3 worst sports announcers. Welcome back to the View from the Rock podcast, and we're at the segment of our show where, this show might go off the rails a little bit. We're still in the deep woods of our 90-day cleanse. And by ours, I mean Morgie and Swap, not mine. I've dabbled, not nearly as much as normal, but I've also, I feel like, really acquired a nice taste for non-alcoholics. And there's about 5 different non-alcoholic things in front of us here. And we might even talk about some food. You never know. So what are we going to have here first?
Well, what do you want to do first, guys? We've got a couple things in front of us here, both non-alcoholic.
Let's do the Ritual Zero Proof Tequila.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'll read about this then, because this is kind of, as Swap would say, free balling it, right?
Yeah.
So this is referred to as a liquor replacement. This is Ritual Zero Proof, blue agave flower. These are the descriptors as far as what's in it. Oh, there's a lot of them. I don't know if I want to read all of them, but I'm going to. Blue agave flower, Mexican lime, tropical guava, cracked sea salt, charred oak, mesquite smoke, black peppercorn, capsicum fruit, prickly ash, and green bell pepper. 0 calories. Says, made for margaritas with the grassy body and clean fire of tequila without the alcohol or calories.
I can see that.
For when you're driving, dieting, training, making a baby, taking a break, staying up late, getting up early, or just have stuff to do. Says good for 12 weeks after opening. So there you go.
I'll be damned. Does it need to be refrigerated after you open it? I'm always concerned about that.
No refrigeration required, but don't freeze, because if you
You're
freeze
like my
it,
wife.
it's gonna be frozen.
It looks like a bottle of tequila.
It looks, like mezcal. It's
Yeah.
got that smoky look
Yeah.
to it.
So you want to try this? This is a non-alcoholic tequila replacement.
So what does it smell like? Does it smell like the real deal?
Faintly.
A little.
Okay,
It
So
definitely
I
does a
taste
little.
the mesquite. And there's a little, I drank it before you guys, so.
it's got a little
hot.
There's a little fire in
There's
there.
a little fire at the end.
Just like if you were taking a shot, right?
I'll be damned. That's got a little fire in it. It reminds me a little bit. I had a ghost pepper infused cider a few weeks ago in Chelan, and similar vibe.
You know what? So before I came over, I was telling you that I had a major case of the hiccups. I had actually tried a little bit of this before I came over. I think it gave me the hiccups.
It's got a little fire.
Yeah. I definitely, when I was looking at some of these, was surprised I said green bell pepper, because I don't think bell pepper has that much flavor, but I feel like I can really taste some bell pepper.
You know what? That's not bad. And I think that would be like if you wanted to make a margarita
That would
out of
be
that.
good.
I think that'd
Yeah.
be good.
Definitely.
Non-alcoholic margarita.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to try that next time. I definitely wouldn't want to have it as a shot or on the rocks, but in a margarita, it'd probably be pretty good.
It's got a little fire.
Yeah.
I like it.
So,
All right, we ready for the beer?
yeah, what do we got up next?
So our beer of the week is from Fremont Brewing in Seattle. We've had a lot of their beers in the past, so
They
like
make
the
the
Lush IPA.
I mean, don't you think they're probably the greatest Pacific Northwest craft brewer at this point? They're so ubiquitous and so
See,
consistent.
I like Elysian.
I like Georgetown.
I was gonna say Georgetown or yeah,
So they're all good.
they're all good.
So this is the Fremont non-alcoholic IPA. So drink this anytime you like. It's an IPA. It's non-alcoholic. It's just good beer without the alcohol. The aroma, florals with orange and lemon, followed by some guava, grassy, honey, and other sweet aromatics. The flavor is a gentle sweetness and lightly bitter in light body, with medium carbonation and slight mouth-watering. 0 ABV. Untapped gives it a 0 because it's non-alcoholic.
This will be a nice palate cleanser after that tequila.
I agree.
Oh, I like it.
That's good.
That's the best one I've had so far.
That's good.
That was my opinion too. I when
Can
I
you get
got
that at
these,
Rosario?
No, I got this at Fred Meyer. I asked Rosario what they had, and it was just your standard athletic brewing stuff. And happened to find this at Fred Meyer. They had this, they had a stout, and then they had an orange wit beer. And yeah, this is the best IPA that I've had. That's a non-alcoholic one. I mean, it everyone says when they try it that, you know, if you put an IPA and this up front, I don't know if you could choose between the two. I think most of the time I really could. I really don't know if I could with this one. Like, it's really good.
See,
There's
this
no
would-
weird flavor.
This would go good with Romney's Super Bowl buffalo chicken dip.
So we had a listener email us after our last episode asking about, and who was that, Mr. Ruck?
Mr. Mithen?
That was Mr. Mithen, talking about what our ideal food spread would be for Super Bowl. And that's my number one, is Romney's buffalo chicken dip.
And you know where she got that? She got that from a quarterback that played for the Jags in the 2000s.
David Garrard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
David
And then
Garrard.
the first time she brought that over, it was gone in like 10 minutes. And she was like, oh. I mean, and now it's like, if she doesn't bring it, we're pissed.
It's good.
And it's gone
Oh,
in 10 minutes.
it's so good.
It's so good. And I think there's like some Frank's Red Hot
Definitely.
in it.
Yeah.
And Frank's Red Hot is not my favorite, but in certain things like
It's
that.
not super spicy. But
No, but that needs Frank's Red Hot.
Well, and do you think it's because it's buffalo chicken? Do you think it's Frank's Red Hot Buffalo sauce?
It might be.
So, what else besides that needs to be on your Super Bowl?
I love just all the stuff that people are creative about.
It is fun to try new stuff. Yeah.
I like a good meatball on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, like
Normally, Nicole Johnson knows how to make some good ones of those.
and then just I love just all the different types of dips.
I like a nice artichoke dip.
Yeah. With some bread.
How do you like the, you can get the Southwest dip
Yeah.
down there? I'm a
Yeah.
big Southwest dip guy.
Some wings.
So, are you guys a flat or a drum? Do you know what I mean by that?
I like the flat.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean.
So, with chicken,
Like a drumstick?
chicken wings, there's drumsticks.
Oh,
and then
yeah. No,
there's
I'm a
flats.
drumstick. I'm a
Okay.
drum.
Flats are the wings. So,
Yeah,
I prefer flats.
Spicy.
Just regular but spicy.
Yeah.
Buffalo sauce. What about you, Jason? Not spicy.
Not
obviously,
spicy, but like I like some sauce, like
You
a
like just-
barbecue or something.
so you prefer a barbecue over like the buffalo?
Or a buffalo, as long as it's not hot.
Okay.
How do you feel about like a nice sandwich? You know how some people will do like a nice like a little party sandwich sliders.
Yeah, I like those. And then I like the little, the rolls. They're kind of like a wheel.
Like the
Yeah.
Costco ones?
Yeah.
yeah.
Where
I
it's
like those
almost
too.
like a
wrap.
a little wrap in the roll.
Yeah.
Man,
Or the
what
wheel.
would that do to our system right now if we just went all out after?
Well, what's going to happen next Sunday?
I don't know. Maybe next Sunday will be non-alcohol, but
But good food.
I hit the dips.
So I also need queso in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'd love it if my queso has some sort of chorizo in it. Then that'd be a real nice queso dip for me.
I love a
Especially
good- oh, yeah.
if you like actually fry the tortilla chips yourself, like ahead of time. Because then they're nice and they've got a good structure for dipping. They're not going to fall apart. They're thick and crunchy and salty.
Kelly does the little chili with Velveeta.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's money.
yeah.
Put that
Yeah.
together and
Whoever invented Velveeta should have a statue somewhere.
there's just all kinds of goodies. And then the go-to veggies, veggie tray, little Uncle Dan's.
So what did we have national championship night?
Meats and cheeses.
Like a charcuterie.
No, the night where we started our cleanse, but the Huskies were playing, and we had
Oh, we had Heather, Sign Dog's wife, made this gluten-free something dip.
like paleo buffalo chicken
Oh,
dip.
dude, it was so good. It was.
So it must have had like a almond sauce or something like that.
And maybe like cauliflower flour. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I mean, fried cauliflower would be pretty good.
Have you ever had the cauliflower
Wings?
at Buffalo Wild Wings?
It's just cauliflower that's bread and fried, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
It's not bad.
I mean, if I couldn't eat meat, I'd go for it.
I would like a nice cheese stick or a fried pickle.
Oh, fried pickles. Dang.
Have you
I've
ever had fried pickles?
I have. It's been a while. You know,
The boys love them now.
if you go back to my previous pick for number 3 top bars, the Beaver Inn, that was one of their calling cards was they had fried pickles. Love fried pickles.
Did they have the pickled eggs?
No. Well, I mean, it's possible, but I wasn't ordering those.
You ever had the pickled eggs at a bar?
I haven't. Have you?
Yeah.
I do. I think I would like pickled eggs though, because you know, like when you get a ramen, you get that egg that's been essentially pickled, but in more of like an Asian brine. That's same sort of deal.
What's your plan, Ruck, for next Sunday?
No plan.
I don't want to go anywhere where there's Niner fans.
Oh, they're ubiquitous though.
So I'm not going anywhere where they are. I might just stay home.
Just put a sign outside. No Niner fans allowed.
Just hang out down in the dungeon.
I mean that's the choice for us is just anyone but the Niners for the Super Bowl. So we are rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%.
We have some friends that are Niner fans. So
Well,
we'll see.
no friends are perfect, right?
That's right.
Do you ever get any sort of smoked salmon dip going for?
Oh, yeah.
That would be good.
My in-laws make a good smoked salmon dip.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at the end of the day, isn't it really just cream cheese, just straight with smoked salmon?
There might be like some Worcestershire in there.
Okay.
My mom makes a good cold crab dip.
Yeah, a nice crab dip is good.
Oh, yeah. I like a good hot crab dip, too.
Oh, yeah.
How about a stuffed mushroom?
Oh, I haven't seen that in a
I
while.
actually can. I do really good ones because I've been trying to perfect those for Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think
Because
I've
her
ever tried
diet's
making them.
changed. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Or even a stuffed pepper.
I love stuffed
Yeah,
peppers.
I do too. Costco makes a nice stuffed pepper.
Yeah.
And then anything wrapped in bacon.
So you do the jalapeno popper, basically, right? But you have it in half, and then you roll it with bacon, and you smoke them.
So at the Secret Bar the other night, I had a sushi roll with some candied bacon in it.
The secret bar.
Yeah.
Tasha's table.
Well, it's not a secret anymore, is it?
Well, that's it's not is it a secret bar?
It was to me.
That's the speakeasy, right?
Yeah.
Or a speakeasy. Is there a name for it?
I don't think so.
Were you seated back there?
We went in and they said, "Do you want to go behind the purple door?" And we said yes.
Was it already crowded?
The restaurant part was. The secret bar had nobody else in it.
Oh.
It was already crowded at 4:15.
Yeah, it was packed.
Do you get regular food and drink service back there, or
Yep.
is it limited?
Yeah, you could get whatever you want back there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh.
I haven't been to either. either
It's
at
awesome.
Tasha's table
Yeah,
or the.
it's really good. And they have a nice brunch on the weekends.
It's really good.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm interested in a place that is going to actively try to hide me from the public. I don't want to see people.
So you went last week to happy hour at Dad's Diner.
Thank you for reminding me. That was a delight. Wow. So we almost ordered the whole menu. Let's see. We
Sounds amazing.
we had a butter burger. The butter burger, if you can imagine, is a burger with nothing on it except for you put a load of butter on, I think, the bun and put it on top of the hot burger, and then all of that just melts down onto it. And then the little carafe plate that it's presented to you in has probably a quarter of an inch of just liquid butter that the thing is just floating in. And so the bun on the bottom is just like ensconced in butter.
Wow. So it does have a bun.
I'm drooling.
It's 2 pieces of bread, which is a bun, and then meat, and that's it.
But this is is this a fork deal?
Because there was multiple people here, we cut it up. If I was just
So you
eating
just
it,
did, you ordered like 5 or 6 things and you
Yeah.
all tried all
correct.
of them.
If I was eating it on my own, I think I would dive in with my hands.
But your hands would come out buttery.
Yep. So
Okay.
you probably have to lick your fingers. That'd be fine. I can handle that. Next, after that, what do we have? Oh, okay. I think the best thing that I had there was the fried cheese curds in hot honey,
Oh my God.
chili crisp. Oh my word. We had 2 orders of those, and I probably could have had 4. I mean, it was unreal. The bite
And
from that-
Neil was cooking?
Yeah, Neil came over and actually gave us some free pancake fries.
So describe the pancake fries.
So they take a pancake, they griddle it, and then they chop it up into like large steak cut fry shape. And then from there, I believe they fry it in their fryer. And then they definitely salt them pretty heavily because they end up being kind of savory. And they put some sort of like sriracha maple syrup over the whole thing. They're good. A lot better than I thought they'd be.
So is there a dipping sauce or is it just what's on it?
I think if you wanted more of that maple syrup to dip in, you could get it, but they give it to you with just what they drizzled on.
So what else did they have there on their happy hour menu?
So we also had the smash burger tacos, which is like having a smash burger, but sort of like with Big Mac sauce on it. And then they, I think, smash the burger into the tortilla. So the tortilla gets a little fried up, but then on the outside, they also put cheese on it, and then that ends up crisping up. So you've got this like cheese shell on the outside of a tortilla with a smash burger inside of it. It's pretty unreal.
That sounds amazing.
And then they also, we also had some chili cheese fries. Those are great. And then they have nachos. We didn't have those. And I feel like they had a chili dog too.
And that was you and Carl and Kirk and Josh.
And Dick Fryer.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah, it was a great time.
Is that for your birthday?
That was. Yep. I'm 36 now.
Happy birthday.
Share the same birthday as Justin Timberlake.
Wow.
That's probably why he was on SNL recently. Big time. Yeah. I think that's all they had. Are we ready to move on from food? Or little
think we're ready.
gluttonous part of our episode?
Top 3.
That was the best food experience I've had in 5 weeks.
I'm hungry.
I'm not sure if it was great for our listeners or not because we were just naming off foods and going, oh, yeah. But I liked it.
They sound, I mean, if I was a listener, I'd be like, I want to go to Dad's happy hour.
And
Yeah.
when is their happy hour? Every night?
I believe it's Wednesday to Friday from 3 to 5
Dad's Diner, Commercial Avenue, right next to the Union Tavern.
in Anacortes, Washington. It just left my brain. Feel free to give us feedback on some of the things that we've tried out today, like talking about food, or let us know how Morgie's Midget show is going. Morgie's Midget Minute, excuse me. And to let us know how that's going, you should email us at theviewfromtherock@gmail.com. Would anyone like to go first for the top 3 worst sports announcers. We got a volunteer, Jason.
All right. My number 3 worst sports announcers is any person that does duck games.
Oh,
Whoever that is. Football, basketball.
Have you actually heard
Yes.
one of their announcers?
Yeah. And I can't give you their name.
but whoever it was when Kenny Wheaton had the interception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can,
Yeah.
Suck it.
He's probably top 3 worst people.
yeah. So, Big Chris, I know you know. Matt, tell me who it is. That's my number 3. That guy from Oregon is
Gotcha.
terrible.
Well, I'll go next. For me, I really do not enjoy listening to Greg Olson, former tight end for the Panthers and the Seahawks and the Bears. There's definitely a lot worse than him, and if he's on, I can handle it. But he ends up saying a lot of buzzwords and catchphrases that I don't think he either explains well to the listening audience or he doesn't understand well himself. Sometimes maybe, being a tight end, he doesn't quite understand what's going on. I imagine he's got more football knowledge than me, but I don't know. Sometimes his presentation, he acts like that he knows what the quarterback's doing, but I'm not confident that he really does. He's no Tony Romo.
And, a lot of people don't like Tony Romo. I like Tony Romo.
I do.
I don't know why people wouldn't like Tony Romo, but I've heard that.
I
I
most
love
of the
Tony
guys.
Romo
Yeah.
because he fumbled on the snap.
That was one of the greatest plays ever.
I remember
field goal?
I was sitting in Colin's living room, and then we jumped up and down when he got tackled by Babineau.
And he was going to get a first down. That's what's kind of forgotten.
They was
going
going to get a touchdown.
I know,
But if he
they,
just went down and not fumbled, they get the ball back.
they could have got a first down.
Oh, yeah,
before
yeah.
the touchdown.
Yeah.
And so the tackle was like super underrated in that play.
Yeah. Big play Babs.
That's right. So my number 3 is probably going to be kind of controversial, and it pains me to even say it. Rick Riz.
Double R.
Yeah. I know. He's a staple here, but he's just so positive. I don't want positive. I don't want positive. The Mariners have sucked forever. I don't want it to be positive.
It is a valid point where with the Mariners and how painful it has been to be a fan of theirs pretty much their whole existence. I mean, there's no place for positivity there. I
No.
understand.
Especially now, they're sucking on everything.
How about
Off
this
season.
off season just made me want to.
He'll
my
say, "Oh, the greatest fans in baseball," and I'm like, "No, they're not. They're not. They're not the greatest fans in baseball. It's not the greatest stadium in baseball, and they suck."
So I've got a question. He's most of the time at this point on riding solo,
Radio.
Yeah,
right? But radio, yeah, but it's just him, no other guy with him, right?
I think so. So this
So that's
was
kind of
like,
impressive, isn't that?
but I'll tell you when it was really, really bad. This would be my one if they were still together. He would do back in the old days. He'd have Dave Valley with him,
Oh yeah.
and Dave Valley is like Mr. Positive on steroids.
What about the catcher?
Dan Wilson?
Dan Wilson,
Dave
too.
Valley was a catcher
I know,
too.
yeah.
I like Dan Wilson, but Dave Valley and Rick Riz, it was just so positive.
Do we still have Blowers?
I like Blowers.
Yeah. And Sims.
I like Sims.
And then if you really want to get people upset, you put Angie Mentic in there, and then people are really angry about that. I personally, I don't have a problem with it. I have more of a problem when they have 5 people in the booth and none of them are the lead like anchor, because then it's just this like free for all where they're just stepping on each other's words.
Yeah.
But I think that Angie often has said things where I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Well,
she was
she-
a really good player.
Softball UW,
she-
right?
Yeah.
She now lives in Sumner. So I know that because of a friend of Brennan's in Seattle teammates. Her husband got the Sumner job last year.
Oh, really?
For 1 year. And her son was immediately on varsity as a freshman and played, and then he was gone after 1 year.
Ooh. High school coaching is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. So And there's a few other stories we have about her that
If we ever do a secret podcast again,
that'll definitely be on there.
It'll definitely be intended to be on there and then won't make it because the secret podcast, I don't know if that ended up being very,
it was fun.
it was fun. I don't think there's anything on it that couldn't be published.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure many people heard what we said.
I mean, we
There's
still
a
have we have the audio recording. If we ever wanted to upload it, we could, but it's just not the best quality.
Yeah.
So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Dennis Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my!
Monday
I totally
night-
forgot about
Monday
that
night
era.
football. He was terrible. Like, what were they thinking?
I wish
He's
that was
a comedian.
How did they think that was a good idea? And I got to be honest, I kind of liked him. I just don't know how at ABC with all their guys in there, they thought, hey, this is going to be a good idea. Let's have Dennis Miller.
Who was with him?
Well, was it
Tony Kornheiser?
I wanted to say Frank Gifford.
Yeah. I don't know.
don't
He was
either.
terrible.
At one point, they had like 3 people in the booth, and I want to say Kornheiser was in there from around, or not around the horn, but you know, the show he's on with Wilbon,
Yeah.
that ESPN show,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and Dennis Miller, and then who's I don't remember.
Pardon the interruption.
Yeah, pardon the eruption. And then I don't remember who the main guy was. It was all bad. It was bad. That reminded me actually who my number 1 hate is. And so the person who is my number 1 now, they have a free pass. They're not going to be in my top 3 at all.
You're number 1?
You
Yeah.
just got a new number 1, but it's not going to be in it?
Yeah.
Just because of what I said with Dennis
Yes.
Miller?
So do you
Yes.
still have the same number 1 that you had?
Nope.
Okay, because your number 1 is my number 2. But
Really?
I don't know where we
My
are.
new number 1 or my
No,
old one?
your
You're
old
on
number-
number 2 now.
Yeah.
Your old number 1 is my number 2.
Okay, cool. So you can
Okay.
talk about him and I'll pile on.
But I think it's your turn, right?
Yeah, my number
Okay.
2 is a recent broadcaster, and it's Mark Sanchez, Mr. Butt Fumble himself. He is like watching a show. It's like watching someone basically repeat all the things that their dad told them when they were growing up watching football, and thinking that like everyone else is going to get the inside joke, is going to laugh. Like he's not serious most of the time, and then he has these like lame, corny catchphrases. He drives me insane. I hate him so much.
I do too. I don't like him.
Do you remember when he came out early at USC and Pete Carroll at the press conference? I
Yes.
forget what he said, but it was kind of like you could tell he thought this was a bad idea. You remember that?
Yeah, maybe. He was at Pete Carroll was still at USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got him like twice too, the Seahawks did this year.
Yes.
I think the Jets went to an AFC Championship game with him at
Yeah,
quarterback.
they did.
You know, it's one of those things where his amount of confidence that he portrays does not match with the amount of intellect or quality noticings he's actually letting us know about.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, my number 2, Joe Buck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just can't watch. I can barely watch the World Series. I can barely watch it. Joe Buck.
Do you think he's worse at baseball than football or same?
I think he's horrible at baseball.
Dude, he's been around for 30 years.
Why at the network do they have all these people in the room and they think, yeah, it's a good idea to just keep running Joe Buck out there?
It's safe. That's why. That's my only thing I can imagine because, yeah, he drives me crazy too.
These are the same guys putting Super Bowl halftime shows together.
They're not for us.
No, they're not.
Yeah. The thing that bothers me the most probably about Buck is his slick back, self-assured confidence. It's actually, for a while, I didn't like Troy Aikman either, but I actually now dislike.
I like Aikman better.
Yeah, I dislike Buck so much more than I dislike Aikman that I realized for a long time it was just because of Buck that I hated Aikman.
You know what I will say about Troy Aikman is when you're watching a game, you don't notice him. And I think
Yep.
that's a compliment.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like Joe Buck, I notice 105% of the time. I just wanted to shut up.
Who is going to be? It's going to be Jim Nance and Romo
Yes.
because it's CBS.
Yeah, which reminds me, I have a complaint that might not affect most people. Do you realize that there's no 4K video option for any football game pretty much all year long. And then all of a sudden, they have the NFC Championship 4K, didn't have the AFC, and they've got the Super Bowl.
Really?
Why can they not offer all of the games in 4K or at least all the playoff games? It drives me insane.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. If you had a big screen or like a big projector, the higher quality it
It's
is.
not 4K swap. So
No, I got a great TV.
yeah,
It's
All
not
right.
4K. It's like 2K or 1K.
That was my tech
0.5.
my tech minute where I complain about something that really doesn't bother
So
anyone
do you have
else.
a 4K TV?
Yeah.
Every
I think
TV now
most
is
people
4K.
do.
Is your TV 4K?
This one out here is.
Okay.
I bet yours is.
No, mine's pretty old. But man,
But now a new TV, they're all 4K.
so I've been looking at TVs.
You have?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
does
Because
Miss Swap know that?
a little bit.
They're cheap.
They're cheap. You remember the big TVs you'd get when you were a kid, the console TVs?
Yeah.
You
They-
couldn't wrap your arms around.
You needed a crane
Yeah.
to get it in your house.
Yeah.
But the cheap TVs, and those were like $3,000 back in
Yeah.
1978.
Unwatchable now.
Oh my God.
My number one I hate, and I listened to him the other night. Actually, last night. He was in Seattle.
Oh, I know. He almost made my top 3.
Bill Walton. God. His 30 for 30s is awesome. He was a great player and all that, but he is just, he's so weird. Did you see Mike McCullough got a picture with him?
I saw that.
He was doing the UW game last night, but he just goes off on
Tangents,
tangents
yeah.
that are just, hey, have you read this book? Like, da 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 da.
So I went to the game, and he was doing the game, and he was wearing like
Tie dye.
like a UW crew singlet.
And he can barely walk.
Yeah. Barely stand.
Yeah. Like he walks like he's bent over. He's 90-degree angle when he
yeah.
walks.
Oh yeah.
He's like top 5 guys I would like to sit and have a cup of coffee with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so that's why I actually like listening to his broadcast is most of the time it's like college basketball and I want to be entertained. And so his stories make me laugh and I don't really know much about the players and I don't really care.
Hey, sidebar here. Do you know how crazy my head is going to be when we are sports betting during March Madness?
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
What? I don't understand.
Just because, like,
Because we get a bet on anything and everything.
because we'll go out there now and maybe there's a couple football games on. There's a couple football games and you're gonna bet on the Chiefs. You're gonna bet on the Ravens.
So are you
Like
so is part of this that this sports book hasn't been here since like it wasn't here for last March Madness?
No.
Oh, okay.
So just now they have them in all the casinos.
Gotcha.
So they used to be just in one or two. Now they moved all the way up. So we have, and they redid the area with like all these couches and TVs. So you can just make bets and then go out there and cash them.
And the live betting, Ruck.
What?
Like you got to bet on a game, and then it's halftime, and it's a different score. So the
So you
odds
can just
change.
go. You can just go do the second half if you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, since I have no idea what I'm doing as far as betting, I really need you guys to like walk me through it when you
Betting
take
for
me there.
dummies.
Yeah.
It's you can just start off on the basics, just the money line, like who's going to win the game.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
saying
then
like
just the fun little like $5 parlays. Like you do like one parlay and like $5 can win you 80.
sounds dangerous. But there's
But
a
it's
possibility
$5.
that I could lose that money though.
$5.
Well, I don't really want to lose $5.
You just need to go in and you need to have a plan. I'm gonna have this much money, and I'm gonna be okay losing it.
So I will say the only time I have bet was I went to Emerald Downs.
Oh, we did that a few years back.
That's an easy way to lose a lot of money. 'Cause
fun.
You got
It's
no, it's fun. You got no idea what any of this stuff is. So you're just like, yeah, I like that name. I like those odds. Let's do it.
But I know nothing about horses, but we went down one day, and there is no natural high like having money on a horse
That's right.
and having that race finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bartness.
Yeah.
Our old psych. school psych from the middle school was used to handicap horses.
He was at the live podcast.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He took us to Emerald Downs.
What?
Yes. And he had all the horses and basically almost the same exact handicaps as the program there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In fact, one year we did a weight loss contest and he handicapped all of us and gave us horse names.
That was like the year before I got here.
I don't think they'd let him do that anymore.
Tyler Starkovich.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
What's your number one, Rock?
My number one, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Booger McFarland. Golly. He was
Big boy.
He was the worst.
Big boy football.
I'm trying to remember who else was on there with him, but he was so bad in the booth that they eventually put him down on the sideline and then
that
put him
little
in the
thing.
Booger Mobile.
Yeah.
And he had like this big TV up there and it like blocked a big part of the stands behind him. And people would like post on social media, cool, can't see the game I paid $500 to because the Booger Mobile is in front of me.
Yeah. And he was awful this year with the Huskies.
I mean, he's a bad announcer. I think that normally getting a D lineman to announce something is a pretty terrible idea from the standpoint that normally D linemen don't know anything of what's going on defensively and definitely don't offensively. They put their hand in the ground and they've got the gap in front of them and they go forward or they try to maintain it. And that's it. They don't learn about the rest of football.
You know who was good, though, that was a D lineman was Siragusa.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah.
a sideline guy. He was always in the end zone.
Yeah.
He was funny. And he had a small part to play. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Siragusa. He was good.
Okay, my number one, Bob Costas.
Oh,
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, he's going to take a baseball game and he's going to be dropped down from the heavens to grace us with his presence to do a big baseball game, and he's going to use big words, show everybody how smart he is, and talk to us like we're idiots. I'm smarter than you. This is the greatest magical poetic event I've ever been at, and I'm going to use a bunch of big words and
The Olympics.
talk down to you peons.
So I'm at this point, I only see him, I feel like, at the Olympics. So is he still do other sports?
He was NBC, right? Forever.
Yeah.
Does he do anything still?
He shows up. Doesn't he show up at baseball games still?
Maybe.
Olympics for sure.
So at his peak, what was he normally announcing?
He would be like World Series on NBC, and he's been around forever. But even with the Olympics, same deal. He'll come down, and it's like the gods have decided today is the day that we're going to deliver you Bob Costas because he is so great and mighty in
Yeah.
his announcing skills.
I'm just trying to remember if I've witnessed him announce things other than the Olympics. Like, did he do some basketball stuff for NBC? Like when it was like Basketball Sundays, you know, and it was the song we all know. Dun, 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 dun,
Wouldn't he be like the studio guy at
and
times?
then it was Marv Albert.
NBC.
Marv Albert, he's got a special place in this list, but I think we'll save that one for the secret podcast.
I think we could say it.
Well,
He's a biter.
yeah.
And he
I feel like we did say it at one point.
and he never got in trouble, really.
No.
Maybe a little.
People have done a lot worse than him and also not gotten in trouble. So there is that.
I might Google that later. I think some of the facts have been blurred over time.
That's probably very accurate. Well, I think that'll do it for top 3 worst sports announcers. Hope you learned about some things you're going to partake in, food or fake alcohol wise, for your Super Bowl festivities coming up here. And don't forget, if you have any things that we screwed up, let us know at theviewfromtherock@gmail.com. We don't know when our next episode will be or what it's about, but we hope to see you then. Remember, you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere else that you get your podcasts.